Last season's LV County champions Lancashire have been relegated after they lost by 109 runs to Middlesex at Lords, and they finished their first season back in the top flight in second spot. For now, Middlesex began the last day on 129 for 2, 127 runs ahead, with Chris Rogers in the middle of a partnership with Derby Milan, which had pretty much ensured that the only way Lancashire could win this game was if Rogers himself left them a target to chase, and how many that would be. That was especially true when Lancashire failed to take a wicket in the first 3/4 of an hour, by which time Milan had moved from his overnight 37 to a half-century. When he'd come out to bat on the previous evening, Lancashire still had hopes, but this innings had now left the game in Middlesex's hands. Rogers resumed his innings on 57 and he looked set to complete yet another 100 as he moved effortlessly into the 80s. But on 86 he tried to cut Simon Kerrigan and nick behind. His season ended with 1,086 championship runs at an average of 40, no mean effort in a year where opening bats have struggled. Neil Dexter couldn't repeat his first innings heroics. On 9 he edged Tom Smith to Stephen Croft. He left with his side on 207 for 4 and leading by 205. With Surrey spinning their way to success across the city, it was becoming clearer that nothing other than a win would now do for Lancashire if they were going to cling on to their First Division status for another week at least. Milan had eased his way to 95, an innings including only 6 boundaries, but 5 short of a deserved 100, he edged a pull off Glenn Chappell behind. John Simpson followed in the next over, losing 2 of his stumps to Ajmal Shahzad. He was out for 27. An agreement had been made between the two captains about the timing of the declaration, and now Middlesex were hitting out a little. In doing so, Stephen Crook edged a slip, and after Gareth Berg had also fallen to the extraordinary Chappell, Ravi Patel was bowled by the Lancashire captain for his 10th wicket in the match. Surprisingly, just the 3rd time he'd done that in his exceptional career. He ended with 5 for 47 in this innings for match figures of 10 for 133. Toby Rowland-Jones added yet more runs for Middlesex with a 6. And with Corey Collymore, the total advanced on to 305 for 9 when the declaration came, setting Lancashire 304 to win in a minimum of 39 overs. It was an almost impossible task, but Lancashire now knew their fate. If they didn't get there, they would become just the 3rd county to be relegated the year after winning the title. Smith and Ashwell Prince made a hurried start in putting on 30 in the first 6 overs. Middlesex knew they would go for everything and that wickets would surely come. Prince on 20 mispulled Collymore to Patel at mid-on. 20 runs later, Smith had a go at Patel but was stumped by Simpson. He was out for 21 at 50 for 2 after 9 overs. Lancashire's best opportunity appeared to lie with Croft and Carl Brown, who both executed fine shots for 6 off Patel as they raced the score along, adding 57 in 7 overs. But realistically, there was just too much for them to do. 197 were wanted off 23 overs when Brown on 33 swished and missed and was bowled by Crook. 4 balls later, and it was as good as over when Croft, who'd made 30, was yorked by Crook. And it was 3 wickets in a single over for Crook when Gareth Cross went next ball, LBW at 112 for 5. Crook was having a great time and he claimed a 4th wicket in the space of just 11 balls by clipping the bails of Paul Horton. Lancashire was sinking fast. Chappell, as you would expect from him, did keep going, launching Patel back over his head for a maximum, but the wickets kept tumbling with Kyle Hogdey next to go when he was bowled by Patel at 134 for 7. 12 more runs had been secured before Chappell, who left the pitch to an excellent ovation, gave Crook his 5th wicket. Berg then replaced him from the pavilion end and had Shahzad dropped in the slips, but it didn't really matter. Patel had Luke Proctor, LBW, for 26 to end a partnership of 32, and Lancashire were officially relegated when Kerrigan, surrounded by 9 fielders, edged Patel to Berg. Lancashire were all out for 194, Patel taking his tally of wickets in what was only his 7th first-class match to 8 in this game. What a difference a year makes. Lancashire had waited 77 years for their title, and after just 1 more, they were down, the margin of defeat at Lords being 109 runs. Middlesex have finished their first season back in the top flight strongly. They took 23 points from this contest, and that puts them second in the table, their highest position of the summer, although other sides have the chance to overtake them next week.